With success sometimes comes guilt. I hate that we have been so oppressed in this world that it really creates an environment where it's hard for most of us to be nice to all of us or to each of us. There's a certain guilt that comes with success. I don't think that gets talked about. You know, with Audra Beauty, my vision, my perspective, my taste, the way that I have built the brand really causes people to feel intimidated. Sometimes your success will cause somebody else to feel less than, and it has nothing to do with you. It's not anything you did wrong, but I think it's something that you have to acknowledge that's going to happen because the world isn't set up for all of us to win. Some of us are going to win, and the ones who get it early and are strategic, understand that in this life, there's some choreography to be done to make it ahead, but most of us won't win. And because of those dynamics, it makes the people that are winning get beat up on or get an unfair treatment. And I understand, I get it. You know, you want that too. You want to be here. You want those opportunities. And you don't know how, and you don't have the connections, and you don't have the network, and you don't have the say so, and you don't have the pedigree, and you don't have the vocabulary, and all these things that we don't have and we don't even have access to. Not only do we not have it, but we don't even know where to go get it because we haven't had that head start. We don't have that generationally. And it just causes us to be a threat to each other. Now, everybody talks about crab in a barrel, but how are people not going to feel a way when they can't get a certain thing or a certain opportunity? That opportunity is so minimal. It's like during COVID, they were giving out $10,000 to Black businesses. Giving out anything is amazing. I'm not talking down there, but how does $10,000 help our community? Long term, not in the short term. Yeah, you're probably going to be able to pay a bill or two. You're going to be able to do things, but the road is so long and you need so much money to be successful. And they dangle these little carrots in front of our faces, but you're never going to be able to get exactly what you need. And so jealousy ensues when you see others being successful or perceived successful.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Can we talk about being the first person in your family to make it? Especially in the Black community, being the first person in your family to make it, to go to college, to move to a new city, to make a certain amount of money is sort of like put on a pedestal in some ways, but when you're living through it, it can be so lonely, isolating. There's so much pressure that comes along with being the one who made it. And there's something called survivor's guilt, where you sort of feel bad for doing good because all the people around you tend to be doing tend to be in a different place than you're in. So what ends up happening is that we work so hard towards these individual goals that are sometimes very different than the things that the people in previous generations have achieved in our family. And we sort of can't keep our head above water because we're either putting time, energy, and money back into the family who may be dealing with other things. They may be in poverty or whatever the case may be. And then it's hard because your family oftentimes doesn't understand your perspective because they may have never gone to college. They may not have had a professional job, or they don't understand the things you deal with in corporate America. They don't even sometimes understand what you do at all. So what ends up happening is that you end up isolating and feeling alone, and you don't talk about what goes on because you feel like they don't understand. And then sometimes they only talk to you when they need things, or they downplay the things you go through, or they think you have more money than you do because you have a nice apartment, or you live in a city that is, popular or expensive. And I just think we need to have more conversations about this in the Black community, about how isolating it is when you set your child up to do great and to be better, but then they don't have the support structures to help them to remain in that position and to progress.
Good morning. I don't know who needs to hear this, but move in silence. Stop telling people what you're planning on doing. Stop even telling people what you're doing. Sometimes when you tell people what your plans are, or what you're doing, or what you're interested in, they speak negativity over that. Oh, I want to go back to school. Girl, you want to go back to school? They fill a job application out for such and such. Oh, girl, I wouldn't work there. And then sometimes people just don't want to see you prosper either way. Like, you know what I'm saying? You tell them what you want to do. Not only are they speaking negative over your plans, over what you want to do, but they trying to discourage you. They putting negativity out in the universe with your name on it. Move in silence. Don't be telling people what your plans are, what you want to do, none of that. Pop out when that shit done. Pop out when you graduate. Pop out when you already got the job. Pop out with that baby. Don't tell nobody shit, because at the end of the day, people always got some negative shit to say. And I hate telling somebody something that I really want to do and they got some funny shit to say. That shit honestly makes me want to go in your shit. So I stopped telling people what I had planned a long time ago. Just start popping out with the results. Real gangsters move in silence, baby.
Envy is such a pet peeve of mine. And I'm not exempt from being envious, but I'm annoyed by people who want a piece of somebody's life, but they don't want all of someone's life, right? So we might look at someone else's personal brand, their success stories, and we go, man, I wish that was me. But the truth is, if you had an opportunity to trade lives with that person and they got your life and you got theirs, you wouldn't want their life. You want an aspect of their life. You might want maybe the money that they have or some luxury or something that they're doing. Maybe it's about the way they look aesthetically, but you don't want everything. You don't want maybe their husband or their kids or their lack of kids or the routes that they have to do to travel. Like, you don't want it all. You want the segment that would make you happy. So with that, like, don't worry about other people's stuff. Focus on your uniqueness, the value that you bring, and bring that out to the world, because you want to still be you. You do like you.
If you're an entrepreneur or you work in corporate and you accomplished a lot of things, but you still fall short because you feel like you're not good enough, no matter what you accomplish, I'm going to tell you the reason that is because you worried about other people and you looking externally and looking at people that's killing shit and you comparing where you're at now to them and you getting discouraged. Those people going to keep doing them and they going to keep winning. But you got your own unique story and you robbing us from it. I used to be the same exact way, but once I realized I'll never be the people that I'm comparing myself to, and I got my own greatness to give, I fucked around and grew a YouTube channel to almost 100K subscribers in less than a year. Like, do you know how fucking insane that is? I still look at it and say, how the fuck did I do that? How did I put out the amount of content that I put out to get there? I don't know. It's fucking insane, but all I can say is you just gotta get out there and do. And I swear your potential is limitless.
Have you ever felt guilty around being successful, questioning if maybe you deserve it or deserve to be there? Even though you probably worked really hard, you feel really bad about any success that you get. Believe it or not, this is a common thing that can happen to people that often make them feel really bad and insecure about getting wins. I often see a variety of reasons for this. One being shame and guilt in general, feeling like they're not good enough, feeling that they're not capable enough, so any success that comes their way, it kind of runs into that wall of, I'm not deserving of this. I also see a lot of people that have often been told that they're less than, not important enough, not capable enough. So therefore, anytime they do receive success, they hear that little critic in the back of their mind that reminds them of the person that said that. And I also see a plethora of people that have dealt with systemic burdens that have often never given them the opportunity to get that success. So when they do get it, they really question if they belong there in the first place. If you relate to any of that, not as easy just to say, tell yourself that you do belong there and you do deserve it, because realistically, I know a lot of y'all have tried that and it hasn't been as helpful. It's not because there's anything wrong with you or that the technique itself is not helpful. It's because sometimes we're jumping over a step that's really important. Before we can appreciate the success that happens in our life, it's really critical that we understand why we can't feel that way in the first place. And no, I'm not just talking about retelling your story and saying like where this comes from, because we often can do that, right? I'm talking about really getting in touch with the feeling that is saying you don't belong there, you don't deserve that success. Actually listening to why it feels that way and what it's trying to tell you. It might be fear about the success. It might be worry that you might be hurt if you're in those spaces. It might be concerns, confusion. It might be activating past relationships with yourself and others. Whatever it is, I'm just here to tell you that I truly believe there's probably a valid reason why that's happening. And when you get in touch with what the need is, then you can offer support specifically to the concern that's being addressed. It may take time, but remember that you're worth the time.
I just saw a video about someone sharing their experiences with guilt whenever they are achieving new things in their life or new blessings that seem to come very easily for them. And they reflect back on their childhood and how it wasn't easy growing up. And she was struggling with understanding the feelings of guilt and wanting to know if other people feel the same. So if you do, if you feel comfortable, comment down below, but I want to kind of unpack this a little bit. As a first gen, that has struggled with, parents in the past, hard beginnings, right? And achieved a lot of success, and am in a totally different place than my parents were at my age, the feelings of guilt heavily come up still. And it is not about the absence of guilt. That's not the goal. I think when we feel guilt, we associate it with something negative, and it's not always something negative. Whenever you're able to reflect back on your childhood, and if it was challenging at times, then that is a reminder point. I like to call it that, which is something that reminds you, hey, think back on a few years ago. This was like a dream for you and your family, or for you and your parents. And now you're actually living that. How cool is that? Think points. It comes up for you to reflect and to remember, but to also thank God or whoever your higher spirituality is about where you are, because we forget that sometimes. So it helps because of that, but also I think we have to remember that if we're flipping it with our parents, that is a major part of the reason why they went through what they went through, so that you can be able to have these opportunities. And most parents would not want you to feel guilty. They would understand it, but they would not want you to feel guilty. Out of their love for you and for you achieving that, if not more, than they ever could have dreamed of. But that was their whole purpose for sacrificing. And hopefully you will help others with your blessings, and also thank them. And thank your hard times. If they're not here, thank the difficulties for what they've brought you to or helped bring you to. Just my thoughts.
So I'm going to tell you why your family, friends, people that you associate with do not support. For one, people have this bias about you. They have an idea of who you used to be. They don't know you now. And the fact that you're accomplishing everything you said you would, your success is a threat to their comfortability. They can't stand that you're so consistent. They can't stand that you're diligent. Some people actually are inspired by you, but it shows up as jealousy. I'm just saying, I'm just a messenger. Like, even me moving out of state, I've received more love here than my own hometown. Like, even on TikTok, more strangers have supported me than my own family and friends and my colleagues. But with that being said, shine anyway. They never thought that the underdog would be as successful as they are. Take it from me. Like, I've been there, and what I do, I shine anyway.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Some people resent the life they're living so bad that they would rather facilitate as an active obstacle to discourage or delay you from achieving your goals, instead of diverting that energy into inspiration for their own life. One of the most prominent ways this is done is by planting seeds of doubt in your mind. Sometimes when people can't physically act as an obstacle to delay the blessings for your life, they would rather allow you to rely on your own consciousness to deter yourself from achieving the goals you have for yourself. This can happen in terms of, are you sure you want to do this? Look at the statistics for your demographic. If I were you, I would do this. Some people don't like the idea of others in their environment doing well, because instead of it being fuel for inspiration and admiration, it reminds them of the stagnancy in their own life. And this is why it's important to never, ever, ever delegate the expectations you have of your own life onto other people. And this is why in isolation season and being silent is very important, and that when you practice this, you will reach a different level of understanding and discipline for yourself.
The scariest thing about envy is that it actually teaches our brain to hate success. It's very hard to accomplish something if you're envious of somebody else who's gotten to where you want to go, because you're teaching your mind by being envious that this thing that they have is painful for you. You hate it, you dislike it, you'd start to devalue even this person's progress. Tell me, how many times have you looked at somebody and felt envy, and then immediately your mind wanted to be like, well, they don't deserve it anyway because they're bad at this and they're bad at that, and they're not actually even as good at this thing. It's probably because you're someone's son or daughter or blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, envy really keeps you away from accomplishing what you want to have. If you're looking for ways to overcome envy and develop sympathetic joy, I have a whole module in my course called Cultivating Ease that talks just about that. It has a talk about sympathetic joy, a guided meditation, and some journaling practices for you to try. I actually opened up that module today because I completely forgot that I had recorded it. It's been 6 months, and I listened through the whole thing, and I was like, wow, I actually forgot how helpful and good it was. And I cannot wait to share it with you. It's only $27 and the link for it is in bio, and I'm so excited to see you in the course. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
The guilt that comes with being successful. Hardly any of us talk about it. Do not ever feel bad about being where you are. You worked hard for it, and it took years. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't luck. It was years of hard work, years of strategy, years of skills. All of these things, it came into effect. Do not ever allow anybody to make you feel bad about where you are today. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. Continue to tell yourself that. Most people will not make it in this life. Most of us will fail. But the ones who crawl out of the bucket, the crabs who crawl out of the bucket and make it, make sure you place strong boundaries, very strong ones, or else other people will do all kinds of things to you. When there's money involved, when there's success, when there's ego involved, be very careful. Human beings are very fragile. They always put their insecurities onto you, their failures onto you, blame you for why they are not where they are, want you to make them successful. It is literally insane, but it happens all the time, and you have to be very careful.
The people that have known you the longest have the hardest time watching you succeed. Your biggest haters are going to be people that are already in your life in some way. The thing is, some people see you as an equal, and some people see you as beneath them. If someone sees you as an equal, when you start to level up, it's going to make them feel like a failure. Because how can you and I start in the same place and now you're ahead of me? If you're winning at life, then I am losing at life. You staying equal to them allows them to not question their own position in this life. And it's the same thing for people that see you as beneath them. They validate themselves by feeling superior to you. So if you start to catch up to them or you pass them, then now they are once again questioning themselves. They needed to feel superior to you in order to feel comfortable where they are in this world. And it's not your fault that they feel this way. And it is hard because you want the people in your life to be proud of you. But it's one of those things that's a hard life lesson you will learn at some point.
I think one of the biggest regrets that I have looking back on where I've come and where I'm at now is the price that I paid and the money I spent for feeling guilty. I think, the biggest thing to watch out for is constantly staying in alignment with what you deserve in life. Because you can put in a lot of work and you're not realizing how long it actually takes for the results, the money, the success to catch up with you. Because you're moving so fast, you're putting in work and you're working hard and you're self-improving. We think that it's an instant reaction that's going to happen, or we think that the results are going to come fast. And if they didn't come fast, we just totally forget about it. So oftentimes we forget that the success and the money and the opportunities that we get are simply byproducts of things we've done years ago. And they're not instantaneous things because success takes time. To build something takes time. So with that being said, you tend to have imposter syndrome that you don't deserve to be here. You tend to think other people around you, because they're inadequate or they're not like you pay for their inadequacies, or you feel guilty when they have shortcomings. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that you deserve where you are, okay? Because of the work you put in. And the work you put in today is going to be leveraged for tomorrow. But you don't know how long it's going to take for you to see those results come into fruition. So once you get success, or if you have success, or, you know, on the road to it, stop feeling guilty for other people. You deserve to be here. You deserve everything that you have in your life. People don't get what they want in life. People get what they deserve. So the other people around you, they deserve what they have in their life, okay? And they have their exact results because of the work that they put in years ago, today.
Do you feel guilt when you reach a certain level of success, income, salary, money, and you feel like you have to take your family with you, right? You feel like you have to take your friends with you. You want them to experience what you've experienced. I want to let you know that's a trauma response. For those of us who've grown up with traumatic childhoods or experiences where you felt guilt for doing better, you know, where people say, oh, who do you think you are? Now that you've gotten this, you're so much better. That's a trauma response. That is where you might need help because it's a hidden barrier. A great book that helped me is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It talks about how we all need to get over these hidden barriers so that we can get ourselves to a certain level and then put the right boundaries around helping others. Try it.
Ooh, this one was really good. I think a lot of times this is why they try to make you suffer more, because it actually comes from jealousy. And again, this is their inner child screaming and crying and begging. Why does she get it easier? But I still had to suffer. That's essentially what they're saying. That mindset of a parent saying they need to suffer because I did, that is what keeps people in generational cycles repeating over and over and over again. It's not until people like us that are here to break those cycles make the conscious decision to act differently, to behave differently, to raise our children differently. When you don't want your child to succeed better than you, it comes from a lack and scarcity mindset. And it shows that there's still a lot of unhealed stuff that has to do with the root chakra. A lot of parents can't stand when their kids are more successful than them because they have their own internal shit that they haven't dealt with yet. And truthfully, I wish I could tell you that it gets better, but that's not always the truth. However, I have created a community of like-minded individuals that you can join us.
Peep this. Some of your own family will be haters. Some of your own family will be haters. They don't like you for real. They don't even like you. They don't even know you and don't like you. I know some of my family don't like me and don't know me. Y'all are a joke. A joke. But a lot of y'all will talk behind my back but won't say nothing to my face. Because I tear y'all up. For real. But anyways. Y'all are a joke. A joke.
Intimidated and insecure people will put down your accomplishments. And here's why. The ones who always putting down your accomplishments, your achievements, are the ones who don't have the consistency, ambition, and determination to do what you do. They don't have what it takes to achieve what you achieved. And that's why they have to find something to put you down for to make themselves feel better. So they're going to discredit you. They're going to talk down upon your name. They're going to downplay your achievements. And they're going to downplay anything you succeed in. They're going to try to diminish your light any way as possible. And I know from experience, I have people try to downplay my content creating, downplay my master's degree, because they feel inferior to me. And that's their problem, not mine. I never put up that barrier. You created that pedestal for me. So when they put you down, just know that's their projection of their insecurities on you. They're the one that created this box and put you in it. And that's not your problem. So they're going to always find little flaws and little nitpick ways to try to bring you down and bring down your achievements because they feel like they can never reach them. Guess what? Keep moving and go stronger and harder.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.